Everybody, it's Glenda, your integrative nurse coach, stopping in to say hello. And so the title of my video is How I Lost 4 Pounds in 2 Weeks. And I know that that does not sound like a big deal, but it is because I didn't do any exercise or anything like that. I found that at the end of 2020, my eating habits, because it was a holiday, because, we had been kind of confined for the whole year, that there were some changes with the eating habits. And so by the end of the year, I just noticed that I felt so run down, and I noticed that that is the case with me with certain foods. And there are just some things that I don't go near because I know that I'll feel tired. I will, I don't have any energy. I have difficulty thinking. So there are foods that I just completely stay away from. So as part of my, self-care routine, I decided that I got to make some changes in that area too. Because that's what self-care is about. It's a holistic approach. So the eating and the food and all that stuff is just a small part of it. But anyway, I just wanted to share what I did. So there are some foods that they love me and I love them. And they call me all the time. And there are times where that little voice is saying, Glenda, you should have that. It's okay, no big deal. And my voice says, yes, I love you and I want you, but I'm not going to do this. So what I did was I decided to remove sugar, meaning, no desserts or anything that's made where you're adding sugar. And the only sugars that I have eaten are natural sugars, and that's the sugar in your fruit, and that's come in with my smoothies. So there was no sugar, no bread, and no cheese. Now, I love cheese too. I like cheese on a nice dish, or to sprinkle them in my omelets in the morning time. So I said no cheese. And I felt so much better because I know those foods make me feel kind of run down. And I'll also mention that I'm not a big meat eater, so I didn't have to like remove meat or anything because I just don't eat don't eat a lot of it anyway. I'm not using labels as vegetarian or anything like that. For me, it's just listening to my body and understanding what foods agree and what do not, which ones do not, and trying to make sure that I have some nutritional balance that way. So that's what I did. I just didn't have my cheese, which I love. I didn't have any sugars, which I don't eat a lot of anyway, but I was eating a lot of desserts around, holiday time. And then of course I also got rid of the breads, which was pretty easy for me because I don't eat a lot of bread anyway. But I just wanted to share that because, sometimes with looking at, balance and weight loss, as we look at, the foods that we select, I would say, if you are in a place where, sometimes you eat something, you just don't feel well, sometimes it lasts for days. That's inflammation occurring in your body because your body does not agree with something that you've eaten. That's pretty typical with like your fried foods. So just do a diary for about a week and take note of what you're eating. And if you want, try to remove some things slowly. I did it cold turkey. It was just a mindset for me, and I know that any foods in that category, that if I have too much of it, I just feel like crap. And so I don't want to feel like crap. So I would suggest, do a food diary. Just keep track of like what you're eating and drinking for 3 days. And then notice how you feel within that time frame. And then start to remove some things slowly and notice how you feel. Part of feeling better is decrease inflammation in your body. Also, your body responding to nutrients. I forgot to mention that I'm a snacker too. So for me, I think of, good snacks like your Kind bars, just some of the other granola bars and things like that. But that's kind of like having bread in a sense. And then they're caloric. So if I have 2 or 3 Kind bars a day, they're delicious. I get the nuts, which are good for me. It's like, ooh, but they're high in calories. So I stopped with the snacking because I always assumed that I had good snacks, and they're good snacks, but they're caloric snacks. And right now, my biggest snack is popcorn. And with the popcorn, I don't buy the microwave stuff. We do it the old fashioned way. You know, you take out the pop, put a little oil in there or butter, whatever your preference is to pop it in. And I pop up some old school popcorn, and that's what I have. And if you are like me and you have police in your family, as in the folks that I shared with, I said, well, I'm not going to have this and I'm not going to have that. And there was one day I wanted a little cheese on my vegetables. I eat vegetables for breakfast 99% of the time. And I wanted a little bit of cheese, you know, for that flavor. And the police in my house stopped me and said, I thought you weren't going to eat that. And it's just like, but it's just a little bit. So I was consistent for, you know, definitely the 2 weeks, had the 4-pound weight loss, and I, you know, sprinkle a little bit of cheese, just a tad, not too much. But that's how I was successful in that 2 weeks. And I know it doesn't sound like a whole lot. No, I don't have um, this big plan or remedy on how to lose, you know, what is it? Most people want 5 to 10 pounds in a week, which is not necessarily as safe, but that worked for me. So just try that. You know, I think that would be a great year. I mean, a great way to start the new year as you assess, you know, what strategies you're using to make sure that you're your very best. And food is a big one. You know, many of us have a difficult relationship with food. I know that there are some foods that I like, some of the milk products and the yogurts and all of those things. We don't get along, so we don't even talk. Unlike with some of the other foods, we can have a discussion. With those, we don't talk. So just think about uh, doing the food diary and see how that goes for you, and see if you notice something or you identify something that works and something that doesn't work. And I have so much more energy. I tell you that last month, it was between the holidays with the heavy foods, the desserts. Um, it was a challenge, but now I don't have a desire for it. So thank you all for hanging in there with me. I know I'm kind of hit or miss. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.